Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com. Today we are in my home sewing nook. This is a small corner of a part of a larger room that was actually intended to be a dining room and a family room, kind of combination side by side. And so I took it over and we never really used it for its intended purpose. But it has served me well. I like working in this space because there's a wall of windows here, and so I can sew in that natural light, which is important. But luckily enough, we are getting ready to move, as you know, into a bigger studio that's going to offer me the space I need and the light I desire, so I can combine both studio spaces. And that is really exciting to me because when I first started out, I began sewing at our dining room table, and then that was right inside of the entrance of the house that we lived in at the time. So you would walk into our house and then you'd see my sewing machine and bolts of fabric piled up. So that didn't last very long, I think maybe a few months. And then I took over the guest bedroom in the basement, and that was nice because it had a door and it was a fairly good sized room. But I quickly outgrew that space, and then I took over the entire basement of that home. And the kids didn't like that much because that was their playroom and where they'd hang out with their friends. And then that's when I took my first big jump, and I got a cute little studio space that was 2 levels. It was really sweet, very tiny. It was like 300 square feet, but it was 2 levels, and it had like these little mini stairs, and you would climb up those stairs to this completely light-filled loft, and it really was a lot of fun. And that space, I think I might hold dearest in my heart because that was the first big leap that I took, moving out of the house and really solidifying this idea of being a handmade business entrepreneur. So that space I said goodbye to, and it was bittersweet because I had the opportunity to open up my retail shop, which was what I thought the next logical step was. And it was great because when you own a shop, I don't know if any of you have worked in retail, or even better, if you've ever owned your own shop, you know that that level of interaction forces you completely out of your comfort zone. You have to learn how to talk to all different kinds of people. You have to learn how to not take things personally and be able to handle rejection. And it's just, that part was a wonderful experience because I spent almost 5 years doing that, and I was able to tackle a lot of things in that time period. But then that too came to an end, and that was bittersweet as well because I was saying goodbye to some really beautiful people. I loved my customers. I loved that space. I loved knowing that every day was going to be different. But the time was there, and I said goodbye to that, and then I moved into the space which we are currently in. Not currently as in right now, but the studio where I normally record. And I talked to you about that last week, that I wasn't sure if I was even going to like that. And it did work out, but it has been rather isolating, of course. So with this next move here, I'm hoping to kind of refine everything. I have some ideas in mind, one of which I want to share with you, where I want to host other makers and artisans, and we can have workshops. I have a good friend who used to own a shop also locally, and now she teaches watercolor workshops, and so I have invited her to come out and teach a workshop at the studio. So I hope to expand in that way because, as you know, I'm sure you just don't only sew. I know you have other hobbies and interests and passions, as do I, which would be another benefit of combining the space because I have quite a few. So I'm going to be able to put all of these tools in one spot, and then we can explore all those different avenues. But more to come on that. I did want to see, I recently came across, thanks to that Facebook download file thing you could do. I don't know if y'all heard about that, but you can download and import all of your Facebook timeline. And so I did that, and I was able to find photos of like my very first studios. So I'm going to put those in at the end of this vlog so you can see what the studio spaces I've had over the years look like. It's kind of fun, and it'll be a nice archive for me. So this week's tutorial I've already recorded. It's fabulous. Let me show it to you. This is another crossbody design, and what is really unique about this is these are two separate compartments here with flap closures. So I don't like to put, when I'm carrying a small bag, to put my phone and my keys in the same compartment. I worry that the keys will scratch the phone. And so I thought this was a clever design because I could put the keys in one side, the phone in the other side, maybe the wallet and the keys in one side. But then it also occurred to me, and I haven't tried it on, but I think you can kind of wear this like we used to call them fanny packs. I know that's a little maybe old-fashioned, but I think you could put this around your waist, step inside of it, and then wouldn't that be like a great place to put your phone when you're working and you want your earbuds on? You know, it's not always convenient to keep it in your pocket, especially if you sit down and sew. Like, that's my problem. I have an iPhone 6, so when it's in my back pocket, I feel like it's being bent. So I could put this around my waist and have my phone in there and then still be able to use my earbuds. Also, another thing I thought, it would be pretty cool if you used it like that tool caddy. Like, you could put your scissors, your rotary blade, I use a little hammer, and that would all be right in there, and you can just reach it, like maybe for workshops and things. That would be clever. So I'm excited about this design. It comes together super quick. You're gonna like it. I wanted to tell you, this fabric is one of my all-time favorites. It's from the Hawthorne Threads in-house collection, and it is called Blushing Floral in Fuchsia on Gray, if you're looking for that. And I recently got some printed for some custom orders that I'm working on, and it is this seriously fabulous linen cotton canvas blend, if I can get it out of here. Shoot. They are masters at folding at Hawthorne Threads. They've got to have some kind of template or something they use, because I'm always impressed how they get that fabric in there. But I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, like for here even, how thick and wonderful this fabric is, but these colors are absolutely positively vibrant and gorgeous. So this is the linen cotton canvas blend. You don't need any additional interfacing with it. This is what we made the red and black and white tote out of last week. So I think it costs between $17 and $18 a yard. But if you can come up with, like, this project is definitely less than a yard. The tote bag, you could work that out, that we made last week, for less than a yard too. So it's really not that expensive when you think about it, but I am really liking this weight of fabric. So I wanted to tell you about that. So we are on track to move next weekend. Yikes! That means this coming week I have to get in there and start getting things organized. So I'm hoping on Friday, when I get the keys, to give you a before shot. Now, don't be depressed when you see it because it's empty, you know, it's like a barren space. I experienced that when I moved into my current space. I remember getting the keys, going up there, sitting down and looking around and going, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. And then seriously, like magic, the next day when we were moving the stuff in, as soon as the possessions were in there, like a whole nother energy took over the space. And I was like, okay, it's going to be okay. Same thing's going to happen upstairs, but I definitely want to show you what it looks like before this stuff comes in. So it's kind of a little dirty right now and a little, you know, depressing, but fear not, it will have a major transition. I'm also really happy to say, an amazing giveaway this week. I am so excited about this. Last week I asked for people to donate items or sponsors, and I got an email right away from John at Bins and Things on Amazon, and he said, I'll ship you some thread organizers. And I was like, yeah, John, that sounds amazing. Thank you so much for your generosity. And so I picked those packages up this week, and thread is like the bane of my existence. I have never found thread storage that I like. So we're going to together load up these awesome bins, which you can see here right behind me. There's 2 of them. This one I'm most excited about because it's stacking, and I don't know if this one's adjustable, but he has a larger one that's adjustable, but nonetheless, stacking storage, bonus. So I'm really excited to try this out. You can see my thread nightmare right here. I have bobbins in mason jars all tangled up. I thought for a little while that these little kind of soap boxes were a good idea. No, not so much. And the reason, I actually only sew with one color thread, but I have the embroidery machine here, and that's what these are. These are my embroidery threads, and I do use this many colors. So I've tried this traditional little spool wooden rack. It's frustrating as heck because it collapses if I move this cart. And you can see it's pretty much a mess. So we're going to unpackage and load up John's organizer, and I'll let you know what I think after I get it loaded. Okay, I think I have a configuration that I like here. I did end up going back in and color sorting because it would be kind of pointless to throw everything in here if it wasn't organized. So what I wound up doing was putting the small spools and the extra bobbins in this top container here. And those are color sorted so I can see what I have. Then in the second compartment I did the larger spools, and what I found was the Madeira threads. You could fit 4 in each compartment if you did those like shoebox style. That's what I would call it. So I could fit 4 in there, and then I could fit 3 of the bigger, I think this is Gutermann spools in one compartment. So that's a lot of thread in just that middle compartment. And I mean, you could really put a lot of the little tiny spools in there. And then in the bottom, I kind of had a mash up there. I have some regular sewing thread there on the spool, a few more embroidery threads, less popular colors. For some reason, no one wants green thread for their monogram. Who knew? Okay, so this will then snap into place. Very handy. And you could obviously rearrange the compartments any way you like. Then the lid goes right on top. You are ready to go, or you could just stow that and you'll be able to see exactly what you have. I mean, I really like that I can even look in from the sides and see exactly what I have. There was one other container that he sent, which I went ahead and played with a little bit. I don't obviously need another thread storage, but I do need storage for my hardware. There we go. And this works really good for that. So it has the side open lid there, and I'll bring this down so you can see. I was able to fit a lot of hardware in there. I have the fobs here, miscellaneous things here, and still a lot of space left. And I started organizing my machine feet and some metal bobbins that I don't use very often, but I still have a lot of potential for this bin as well. And both of them are going to be amazing as I transition and pack up this home studio and then set everything up in the new space. So I would love to give you your choice. So you can choose the 48 compartment case or the stacking case, okay? So you can only choose one. And to enter to win, head on over to Sewspire.com and put your name, your first name, and your email address in under the Happy Mail, under the contact information. Drop down to Happy Mail, click on that, and then input your contact information. And then when we have the big studio reveal video, I will announce the winner of the organization case. So I just want to thank John again for sponsoring the giveaway over at Bins and Things on Amazon. I really appreciate it. And if you know somebody who would like to sponsor another one of our Happy Mail giveaways, they can reach out to me, sewinginspiration@gmail.com. I do ask that product or the donation be applicable to our audience, which would be sewing based. So please don't think that I can integrate products which are not related to sewing. I can't. I only really want to bring you all things that I would actually use. And then of course I want to share them with you too. So that's all I have for this studio update. I hope you all have a beautiful week and you will check out the tutorial. It's a fun one to make, and the next time you'll see me will be in the new space, so that's going to be very exciting. Until then, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. Have a beautiful week, everyone.